All right, welcome back to our build around segment. Today, I thought that I would build around literally one of my favorite players and personalities of all time in the NBA, and that is Shaquille O'Neal. As a reminder, in this build around exercise, we are using a past NBA great and building a team around him using today's NBA players. We are also using current salaries. And for the purposes of this exercise, I have taken the teams with the 5 highest payrolls. I have averaged those out. And essentially, I have $195 million to spend on a 9-man rotation. I want to be clear on one thing. I can only use one of today's NBA players once, meaning one of today's NBA players can only be on one of these build-around teams. So, for example, unfortunately, I can't put Derek White on Shaq's team, and that breaks my heart. Had I had Derek White available, I would have definitely put him on this team. I'm getting prime Shaq here. I just want to be clear. I am getting prime Shaquille O'Neal. I'm getting both young Orlando Shaquille O'Neal, and I'm getting three-peat, 3-time finals MVP with the Lakers Shaquille O'Neal. I am getting the best version of Shaquille O'Neal. So, to start off our exercise, Shaquille O'Neal is going to make what Steph Curry is making this year. He's going to make $51 million. Steph Curry is the highest paid player in the NBA this season. So Shaq will get that salary just as Michael Jordan got that salary. All right, Shaquille O'Neal, let's be honest. One of the most dominant players of all time, certainly one of the most dominant interior players of all time. So I look at this in 2 ways. Shaquille O'Neal in any era is going to dominate in the low post. He is. He was nimble. He had great footwork. He was powerful. He actually had a really, really nice touch around the basket. We are going to play through Shaquille O'Neal at times. Secondly, I look at Shaquille O'Neal defensively. Defensively, Shaquille O'Neal would be a drop coverage big, meaning he's not chasing people all over the perimeter. He's going to play that Brook Lopez, Rudy Gobert type role defensively, where he's in the paint, in pick and roll. He's in a drop coverage. So I need shooting, I need perimeter defenders, and I need to figure out who the other front court player, who the 4-man is that I pair with Shaquille O'Neal. I'm going to start with the greatest shooter of all time. I'm going to start with Steph Curry. Steph Curry and Shaquille O'Neal. 2-man action, pick and rolls, dribble handoffs, pin downs, Shaq to Steph. Ooh, I like this. Steph Curry is also making $51 million. So I've just blown through $102 million of my budget. I've got to make some choices here. My next build-around player is going to be Lauri Markkanen. Lauri Markkanen is one of the best catch-and-shoot players in the NBA. He's a guy that can attack closeouts. He's a guy that can move without the basketball. And he's an excellent rebounder for his position. So far I've got Steph Curry, Shaq making $51 million. Lauri Markkanen this season makes $18 million. I'm at roughly $120 million of my $195 million budget. All right. I need some wing defenders. All right. I also need wing defenders that can shoot the basketball. I'm going to start with a Denver Nuggets guard in Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. He's going to be my 2. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope makes $14 million. He's having an all-defense type season. He's an excellent 3-point shooter. Most importantly, I think, he's a guy that stars in his role. He's perfectly comfortable being off the ball and a 5th option. KCP is making $14 million this year. So now I've got Steph, KCP, Lauri Markkanen, and Shaquille O'Neal. I need one more defender. I need one more guy that's going to hound the basketball. I need a guy who can oscillate between guarding wings and guarding bigger players. KCP probably will be hounding the primary ball handler. So I need a guy who can shoot threes and guard big wings. And you ask why? Well, I need guys who are going to chase and be physical, can get rear view contests, can guard one-on-one. Again, I've got Shaq on the back line here. I've got Shaquille O'Neal on the back line. So for my other wing, I'm going to go with Lou Dort. Lou Dort is shooting over 40% from 3 this season, and he's one of the best wing defenders in the NBA. Lou Dort is making $15.2 million. My starting lineup with Shaquille O'Neal. Again, based on the players that I chose last time, they're not available to me, is Shaquille O'Neal, Lauri Markkanen, Lou Dort, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, and Steph Curry. Between my starting lineup, I'm at roughly $150 million. As I move into my rotation, I have to be smart. I'm looking for a guy on a rookie contract as well. Here's how I'm thinking about my bench. I want a ball handler to play with Steph Curry so that Steph can play off the ball and run around. I want a big guy who is a screen setter, a highly efficient rim finisher, and another backline defender. So my first two picks for my 9-man rotation are going to be Tyus Jones and Daniel Gafford. Tyus Jones is making $14 million. Daniel Gafford is making $12 million. I'm at roughly $176 million. All right. I really want more shooting. I really want a dynamic shooter, a guy who can play ghost pick and roll, a guy who can spot up, and a guy who's making a very attractive contract for someone who's against the luxury tax. I'm going to go with Trey Murphy. Trey Murphy on his rookie deal right now, and he's making $3.5 million. I believe that is a steal, and I believe he will be a perfect fit around Steph Curry and Shaquille O'Neal. So Trey Murphy. And to round out my rotation, looking at this roster, I love a Lou Dort. I love a KCP. I need another agitator. I need another tough-minded, hard-nosed, loose ball guy who can also potentially shoot some threes for me. I'm going to go with Kenrich Williams from the Oklahoma City Thunder, who's making $6 million. Again, my starting lineup, Shaquille O'Neal, Lauri Markkanen, Lou Dort, KCP, Steph Curry. My bench, Tyus Jones, Trey Murphy, Kenrich Williams, and Daniel Gafford. How do you think this team stacks up against my build-around Michael Jordan team? Let me know in the comments. This GM thing is easy.